Bridget?
Okay.
Just got there.
Okay, are Duff and Star online? Okay.
This is Duff. I'm here.
Hello.
I'm here. Hello to y'all too. Sorry I'm running a little late.
Good afternoon. Calls the meeting to order. Trustees Duff and Starr are joining us virtually. Good afternoon. Trustees today will discuss the April academic affairs items. Dr. Presswood sent these items to you by email on March 29th after the CAO meeting, and you'll receive them tomorrow in the April board book. Dr. Presswood, would you begin our discussion?
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. So first on the agenda, we have requests to add new academic units from Mississippi State University and Mississippi University for Women. Mississippi State University is requesting the School of Health Professions to be established on the MSU Meridian campus. This school will house the Department of Physician Assistant Studies and the Department of Healthcare. Academic degree programs to be housed in this school are the Master of Science in Physician Assistant Studies, the Bachelor of Science in Healthcare Administration, and the Bachelor of Applied Science in Healthcare Administration. The 5-year cost of implementation for this is approximately $2.9 million. I'll go through all of the units, and then if you have questions, we do have the chief academic officers from those institutions if you have questions that you'd like to ask them. Mississippi State is also requesting the School of Nursing to be established on the MSU Meridian campus. This school will house the Accelerated Master of Science in Nursing, which is an initial licensure program. The School of Nursing will also serve as a home for developing new educational initiatives to elevate the education of the current nursing workforce through graduate study and new emerging professional certificates. Mississippi University for Women is requesting the creation of the Women's College. And you'll notice that right now it says the Women's College at Mississippi University for Women, but MEW has decided they just want it to say the Women's College. So we will make sure and reflect that tomorrow. This college will be housed in the academic affairs. The unit will not house any academic degree programs. The Women's College will offer an empowering experience to students by helping them make sense of the dynamics that shape women's lives and professional opportunities, showcasing women's excellence and leadership in the past and present, and giving them the skills and professional experiences that will help them forge their own paths. The 5-year cost of implementation is $560,000. So does anyone have any questions about these unit requests?
I don't know that I have any questions about them, but I do have a couple of comments. And the comments primarily pertain solely to the first two, which deal with the School of Health Professions and the School of Nursing. And we have two what are narrow programs at Mississippi State that I realize there's some additional programs referenced that are primarily business related that deal with other matters, but you have a narrow physician assistance program and you have a very narrow nursing program. I'm concerned that the name of schools for both of those implies that we're creating a larger base and that we are directing more in health professions and in nursing to the Meridian campus of Mississippi State. And we may elect to do that, but that needs a larger discussion than to just use the name that we have. The other concern that I have, which is one that is purely administrative, and I'll pass this around, is when this is presented, and thank you for sending to me the presentation that was made to the chief academic officers. But it's presented in a different manner to them than it finally comes before us. And those may be somatic changes that may not make much difference. But I do think that it's important that our chief academic officers, so they're different.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be fine. I think it's important that our chief, I think everybody may have one now, but there you go. Chief academic officers see the final format of what's coming forward before us. So I'm just pointing that out because it's going to be my request. And it's probably separate from what we're talking about here, that as changes are made, I don't want to slow down the process. I've had conversations with a number of our provosts about the need for to be able to move nimbly as you add programs. But I do want all of our chief academic officers to be fully advised of changes that are made from the time it's presented to them than the time that it's finally presented to us. I don't want to limit schools the right to change because I think that can be important. And I'm really not in a position to discuss changes, but that's the concern that I have. And that's why I think this takes a larger discussion than we'll be able to have today.
Okay. May I address that?
Sure.
So I sent you the chief academic officer packet, and then you had questions about the request from Mississippi State. So I told you that I would reach out to the director of nursing at IHL to get more information to find out what nursing programs, if there's schools or colleges in the state. And then I also said that I would get more information, a better rationale from Mississippi State, which I did, and it's been submitted in the board book, in the draft and the prep. So the chief academic officers do get that information.
They don't get it when they have their discussion.
They don't get it when they have their discussion.
And I don't know when.
But there wasn't any concern presented from any chief academic officers at the academic officer meeting.
I understand. And I think perhaps, I don't mean to speak for them, that they're looking at this simply as what do we call something administratively? And that's not the same concern that I have. I have what is a policy concern as to what should we be doing in terms of healthcare at all of our schools. And I think that is a bigger discussion that I think we need to have. So that's.
Can I help me define what's the bigger discussion?
The bigger discussion, Bruce, I mentioned to you very briefly, is that we have healthcare that's been assigned to certain institutions. And those are, with probably one exception of Jackson State, are smaller institutions here in the state, and the University of Mississippi, which had it principally at the medical center. They had some more limited program at the Oxford campus, and now they are enlarging that program at the Oxford campus. So it's sort of, where are we going to put our limited resources at a time when we're facing declining enrollments across our state? And that's the bigger discussion. How does this impact other schools? Should we be putting more resources here? I know when we voted for, and I'll take the nursing program, for example, when we voted on the nursing course at Mississippi State, it was presented to us as a single course because
Program.
it is what the hospital.
Single program.
Single program, that's right. That's true. It's multiple courses to get the degree. It presented us as a single program because that's what the hospitals wanted. And reading the comments came from people at the hospital, came from people in the community. And it was clear that was true. In speaking separately with other people at Mississippi State, I know that many administrators want to have a full School of Nursing. So when we change the name to School of Nursing, I think it sends a signal that that's what we're doing. And if we're going to do that, then that's an IHL decision at a bigger level to me than just renaming something that sends a signal that may be what we do and may not be.
Gee, if I understand you right, and maybe I don't, that's possible. Your concern is if we call it the School of Nursing, it kind of insinuates that it's a much bigger thing than just having a nursing degree there. Am I is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Yes,
I'm
and
curious.
no, I agree. It sounds like you have a school of nursing there when you have one nursing program.
Right.
And I don't view that as a school. And the narrow question that I had asked that Dr. Temple had responded to me was, aside from our state schools, you have to go to some of the smaller private schools to find somebody that's got one degree that calls it a school of nursing. I just think it's a misnomer at best. And that's my concern.
This, I'm having trouble really understanding why that's a problem.
Because if we're going to enlarge nursing, if we're going to enlarge health professions at this campus, we need to have that in a bigger discussion, because that's going to impact, in my mind, the nursing programs at MUW, the nursing programs at other schools. You know, the others are perhaps further away, but you have programs that are at the University of Mississippi Medical Center. You have programs that are at Southern Miss. You have programs that are at Delta State. And for us continuing to extend programs that are at Alcorn. I just think we have limited resources. If we're going to look at, are we going to change and put these programs there? I think it's likely we'll hear from other schools that says, what programs am I going to get to be able to expand to that we traditionally haven't had?
And I appreciate that, but in Meridian and West Alabama, there's a acute shortage of nurses. And the nurses are, you got University of Alabama, which are UAB. You have no one close to there that can provide advanced courses to nurses. Our city has 4 medical establishments. We've got the Mississippi State Hospital for mental illness. We've got a big private mental illness hospital. And then we've got Rush's and Anderson's, which is now owned by 2 other Ochsners and Baptists. And so we have an acute shortage and our people are suffering. And to get hung up on terminology, to me, is kind of like not really what we need to be concerned about. We need to be concerned about is satisfying the mission of our people that need health care.
And I'm perfectly happy to have that discussion and talk about what we ought to do to continue to increase our healthcare opportunities at our schools where we have programs, and at the many community colleges, including the one in Meridian, where there are programs. I don't doubt that there's nursing needs everywhere across our state. I don't think we can set up nursing campuses everywhere across our state. Had the nursing program, have your undergraduate degree, come and get your master's at Mississippi State, been presented to us as a school of nursing, and it's going to be enlarged, I would not have voted for it. And I imagine others here may not have either. Everybody can speak for themselves. So my concern is that we are now doing that by changing the name. If it's just a question of who you report to, that can be handled very easily internally. So that's where I think we need to have a bigger discussion about what should be the role and scope of that campus pertaining to health professions and nursing.
I just want to clarify, Trustee Ogletree. So is it your understanding that Mississippi State is changing the name from a Master of Science in Nursing to a School of Nursing?
Now,
You mentioned a name change.
my understanding is the program itself may not have a change, but we're creating a school of nursing.
Okay.
Okay, and that's where I think, why are we doing that? Unless we're going to truly have a school of nursing. If we're not going to truly have a school of nursing, then they can continue this course, which I heard the community support, and I don't have any objection to that. I think this appears to be a way to begin to develop a school of nursing. And that's why I think we need to have a bigger discussion before we change the name like that.
Well, we had a provost from Mississippi State here and he can chime in, but I think one thing to consider is based on the accrediting standards as I know it, nursing programs have to be housed under a qualified nursing administrator, which most institutions, that's a dean of nursing. So they have to, administratively, it has to fall under the leadership of a nurse administrator, which in Mississippi State's academic administrative structure, they are structured into schools and colleges. So I think part of this is an administrative issue tied to the accrediting standards.
We were not presented with a narrow program being part of a school of nursing. I understand that is not an accreditation standard because I've asked that question. It may be an administrative standard issue for Mississippi State as to what they call things, but I think that is just a question, as Bruce would say, of what you call it. I think they can call it what they need to call it to make sure it's accredited. I am not looking to cause accreditation issues, but I understand this really doesn't. If they can designate someone as an appropriate person and call them an appropriate title without having a school of nursing.
So there would not be an issue of still offering the Master of Science in Nursing.
Right. I'm not
without-
trying to change.
Yeah, right. But don't call it a School of Nursing. I understand what you're saying, because the School of Nursing, there again, insinuates that it's going to grow into a bigger project than just a Master of Science in Nursing. But they could, am I correct? Mississippi State can offer a Master of Science in Nursing without calling it or having a School of Nursing. Is that correct? Is that possible? Is the question.
That's the question I asked earlier about accreditation, and I was told it was not an accreditation issue. So
Do you
that's
want me
my
to read that response, or did you provide that in your handouts? The
No,
response?
I didn't provide the response you sent me. My handout was just a comparison. of what
Okay.
was
Do
presented.
you want me to provide that response?
If you have that, that's
I did.
fine, but
I just
isn't
put it
that
up.
correct?
It is. That's, well, I asked Dr. Temple.
Yeah.
And the information that I received is there are no specific accreditation standards related to the official categorizing of a nursing program. IHL Nursing Degree Program Standard Number 1, mission administrative organization is concerned with the educational, experiential, and management leadership of the nurse administrator. The national standards do include administrative standards, ACEN Standard 1, Administrative Capacity and Resources, CCNE Standard 1, Program Quality, Mission, and Governance, NLNCNEA Standard 2, Culture of Integrity and Accountability, Mission, Governance, and Resources. Most of the criteria related to the nurse administrator deal with the organizational structure of the institution and where nursing falls on the organizational chart, allowing for the nurse administrator, typically the dean of nursing, the authority for budget, leading the program, etc. Therefore, institutions utilize their institutional processes for the establishment of the program, such as the School of Nursing or the College of Nursing, etc. There are schools of nursing in the state with 1-degree program, Blue Mountain Christian University and Belhaven University. Each of these has a BSN, and each is officially designated as a school of nursing at their respective institutions. Mississippi College's program is classified as a school of nursing and has 2-degree programs, the BSN and the MSN. The University of Southern Mississippi's program has 2-degree programs, the BS and the Terminal D&P PhD. Their program is classified as the School of Professional Nursing Practice under the College of Nursing and Health Professions.
Right. I thought that's what I was briefly summarizing, that some of our private institutions have a similar issue and have chosen to do that. And although we would accredit them and allow them to offer nursing, we don't tell them what to call their programs, and that's beyond our purview. So I just expressed what my concern is, and if Mississippi State was going to tell me they have no plans to enlarge nursing, that's a different issue, but I believe that they do, and so I think we need to have that discussion now. And I don't think we'll be able to have it today. No, nor am I.
Are you ready? for
Well,
me to
is it-
proceed?
I mean, is it possible to approve the Master of Science in Nursing, but but not call it the School of Nursing? And, you know, because I see the ramifications of this. If you call it the School of Nursing, it becomes a much larger thing.
I guess,
And
Dr.
just-
Shaw, can you answer that? Where would it be housed organizationally at Mississippi State?
So we, within the Mississippi State vernacular, we specifically chose the designation of school actually for the very reason that you're pointing to. Most, if not all, of the schools that currently reside at Mississippi State are single department units. We did not ask for a college of nursing because college implies that it has multiple programs that are housed under that. And so if anything, the School of Health Professions is more of the anomaly as opposed to the School of Nursing, because it does contain 2 or 3 programs that fall under it. But we specifically proposed School of Nursing because at Mississippi State, whether it's the School of Civil Engineering or the School of Human Sciences, all of those programs are unique standalone programs as opposed to a number of different departments that are programs that report to, you know, and I know earlier in the conversation, I think part of this, we've been trying to parse this out for over a year now. The accrediting body made it very clear to us from the beginning of the conversation that their expectation is that the program or the person that is leading the program is in fact carrying the title of dean and reports to the provost. And at Mississippi State structure, a school or a college is necessary because departments, which is our other terminology, departments do not report to the provost. And so we've had a great deal of conversation about all of this over more than a year's time to be able to get to what fits the Mississippi State culture, what fits IHL expectations, and what fits the accreditation body, whether it's specifically stated or an expectation. We wanted to leave no stone unturned to be sure that the accrediting body was firmly believing that especially because it was just one program, as you say, that we were absolutely making sure that the right leadership by designation, by reporting structure, and by nomenclature was in fact in keeping with what they expected.
And so I think, Gene, to answer your question, this has been approved at each stage. I see it continue to be approved. Right now, the person in charge reports directly to you, Dr. Shaw. So they are currently meeting all requirements. And other than Dr. Shaw talking to 2 more people, there's no reason to do this. It's, to me, sends a signal that Mississippi State has a school of nursing. And Mississippi State, I think in public, now there may be a difference in those of you in academia, and you know, my brother's in that category too till he retires in a couple of months. They might understand the difference in a college and a school, but your average student is not going to understand. They're going to see a school of nursing, and that's not what I voted for, and that's not what, absent a greater presentation to us, I think we should go to now. So I'm doing nothing to harm the program. I voted for the program. I continue to support that program. But I don't believe we should call either of those schools for the reasons I've said. Thank you. Thank you to Dr. Shaw.
Do you want me to continue? Okay. Let's see. Gotta get to my notes. Next, we have requests to add new institutes and centers from Mississippi State and University of Mississippi. Mississippi State University is requesting the creation of the Data Science Academic Institute. This extensive scope and outreach center is being established to promote the study and application of data science across all academic disciplines and research initiatives at Mississippi State. The new unit is designed to respond to the increasing demand for proficient data science professionals and will enhance Mississippi State's reputation as a leader within the Southeastern Conference's AI Data Science Consortium, drawing undergraduate and graduate students from within the state and around the globe. The anticipated cost is $9.8 million, and funding will be provided by the Office of Provost and Executive Vice President. Next, we have the University of Mississippi requesting the creation of the Center for Nanobio Interactions. Founded by researchers at the University of Mississippi, the Nanobio and Immunoengineering Consortium has established an interdisciplinary, multi-institutional biotechnology hub focused on transforming the biomedical landscape in Mississippi via integrated research and industrial partnerships. The consortium recently submitted a $7 million NSF ERISE R2 proposal to build research capacity in Mississippi to be nationally competitive for large-scale federal grants focused on addressing the health disparities affecting the Mississippi populace. Additionally, the University of Mississippi was recently awarded a $2 million state appropriation to invest in critical biotech research instrumentation, which is now housed in 2 instrumentation suites on University of Mississippi's campus. The creation of the proposed center will provide the needed administrative support structure to sustain and grow the state-of-the-art research suites at University of Mississippi into user-focused core facilities intended to give researchers access to high-dollar instrumentation that is beyond the scope of support of individual labs, provide the necessary infrastructure to perform cutting-edge research projects, and across University of Mississippi and across the growing NIEC research network, and enable researchers to develop their biomaterials from initial physiochemical characterization all the way through to preclinical efficacy testing. The anticipated annual cost of this center is $450,000. I'm sorry, I was making sure I had that right on the screen. And funding will be provided by extramural grants and user fees. Any discussion about the institutes and centers? Okay. We have several requests to add new degree programs. First, Alcorn State University requests the creation of the STEM Master of Business Administration to be housed in the School of Business. This 30-hour STEM MBA program aims to develop business leaders who can apply analytical thinking, technological expertise, and entrepreneurial mindset to drive innovation. Graduates will be prepared to excel in STEM-focused professions in fields like technology, healthcare, advanced manufacturing, and consulting. The program will have concentrations in AI for business, healthcare systems management, data analytics, and accounting. The program will seek accreditation from ACBSP, the Accreditation Council for Business Schools and Programs. There are no institutions offering similar degree programs, and this degree program will lead to occupations such as project management consultants, data science analytics managers, IT project managers, with a pay ranging from $80,000 to $150,000. Since we have so many, do you want me to stop after each one to see if there are questions? Since we do have, okay. Are there any questions for Alcorn? Mississippi State University is requesting the creation of the the Bachelor of Applied Science and Cybersecurity to be housed in Computer Science and Engineering. This 120-hour degree program is specifically designed for students holding AAS degrees in a computer science-related field. The AAS degree is a 2-year career technical education degree program offered at the community colleges. A 2019 study from Burning Glass Technologies found that 88% of cybersecurity job postings specifically request a bachelor's degree or higher. The Bureau of Labor Statistics projects a 35% growth rate for information security analysts from 2021 to 2031. There are an estimated 56,500 jobs expected to open during that time, having a median salary of $102,000 with an unemployment rate of 0.8% nationwide. Are there any questions about this program? Okay. Mississippi State is requesting the creation of the Master of Applied Data Science to be housed in the Division of Academic Affairs. They currently offer a Master of Science in Data Science that is geared toward traditional academic goals for those who are interested in learning the principles and basic knowledge of fields that support data science. This new 30-hour degree program will address the growing demand for a graduate degree program that provides an applied approach to data science and is oriented towards working professionals. The Master of Applied Data Science program focuses more on the applied side of data science, which is the aspect of data science that is in highest demand by working professionals. There are no institutions in Mississippi offering similar programs. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the rise of demand for data science expertise will create roughly 11.5 million new jobs by 2026. And a recent study conducted by LinkedIn reports that data science experts earn an annual average salary between $78,000 and $150,000. Within the Bureau of Labor Statistics occupational categories, there are two occupations in particular that relate to this degree. Data science and business intelligence analysts both have a median salary of $103,000. Are there any questions related to this degree program? Mississippi State is requesting the creation of the Master of Arts in Teaching Elementary Level Alternate Route to be housed in the Meridian Division of Education. This 36-hour degree program will be an alternate route licensure program at the graduate level designed for those who wish to prepare for a career as an elementary teacher in grades K through 6. Delta State, Jackson State, and Southern Miss offer similar programs. Currently, 103 school districts in Mississippi are identified as geographical critical shortage areas. While the overall employment of elementary school teachers is projected by the BLS to show little or no change from 2022 to 2032, about 109,000 openings are projected each year on average for the next 10 years. The Economic Policy Institute projects a demand of about 300,000 new teachers nationwide and a supply of just over 100,000 trained teachers by 2024. The critical shortage in Mississippi exacerbates this demand. The Brookings Institute has identified programs based on a residency model such as the MAT ELR, which is what this program is, as a promising practice for addressing the demand for highly competent teachers. Students can expect a minimum salary of $43,000 per year as an AA certified teacher in Mississippi. Local school districts may add a salary supplement to this base salary. Are there any questions? Mississippi State is requesting the creation of the Master of Science in Engineering to be housed in the Bagley College of Engineering. This 30 to 33-hour program will require an undergraduate engineering degree for admission to the program. Students will be allowed to build their own master's degree with planned concentration areas. This program will provide students with the flexibility in tailoring programs of study to support their career development and aspirational goals. As jobs become more cross-disciplinary, it is necessary to provide students with the opportunity to learn skills in various disciplines within and outside of engineering. This program will be offered on both the Starkville and online campuses, and there are no institutions in Mississippi offering similar programs. The need for this degree was realized after discussing with the graduate coordinators in the proposed concentration areas and areas where Mississippi State could fill the gap in degree offerings. This faculty-led approach allowed Mississippi State to begin working on a program proposal that could fill current and future needs. Occupational employment and wages as of May 2022 from the Bureau of Labor Statistics for engineers in all other categories indicated that there were over 150,000 people employed in these positions with an average annual salary of $111,000. Are there any questions? University of Mississippi requests the creation of the Bachelor of Science in Political Science to be housed in the Department of Political Science. This 120-hour degree program will be a more technical and quantitative degree than the currently offered Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. The BS degree will require additional courses in math and quantitative analysis. Southern Miss and Mississippi College offer similar degree programs. Graduates with a BS in political science are positioned to enter a wide range of career paths, and we expect to see a continued flow of graduates into law school and politics. We also expect to see more students interested in graduate school to opt for the BS path. Additionally, the skills of the degree are common to marketing and survey work, as well as business and management more generally. The paths followed by BS graduates are not likely to be completely different than those followed by BA graduates, but will be skewed more towards jobs that require or reward analytical skills. Any questions? Okay. The University of Mississippi requests the creation of the Bachelor of Science in Psychology to be housed in the Department of Psychology. This 120-hour degree program will be more technical and quantitative in nature than the currently offered Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. The BS degree will require students to learn the scientific approach to the study of human and animal behavior, engage in experiential learning, and practice using statistical tools. Alcorn, Jackson State, and Southern Miss offer BA degrees in psychology. Mississippi State and MUW offer both a BA and a BS in psychology. So that is all for the regular agenda.
Is there a motion to adjourn the building? The meeting?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Trustee Duff,
Aye.
Trustee Starr is now with us. Thank you for participating today. Meeting is adjourned. Dr. Stone.
Would you do me a favor? Would you keep out your race? You'll find out that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, ignore that call, Al. It's an accidental dial if you get one.
Hey, Judy, it's Bruce. I left my car, my phone and the charger in the car. If you would, please do me a favor and call this number and I can run down and pick it up, okay? And thank you.
There it is.
Oh, gosh, I was sitting on it. Never mind.
All right.
May I share this with you? So this is the. This is. Thank you. I wanted you to see it beforehand in case you. So at the end of the meeting, this business. This right for it.
Yes, he's on.
And there's a lot of.
Where was that at?
Right here.
So I
afternoon, everyone. I call this meeting of the Health Affairs Committee to order. Trustee Cummings, Trustee Duff, they will not be joining us. I think Trustee Hubbard and Trustee Gordon will join us shortly. But trustees, last week. You received the documents we'll be discussing. As a reminder to everyone, please use the microphone when speaking. Jennifer, would you begin our discussions today?
Sure, I will. Okay, I'm pleased to say we've got another good financial report for the month of March. If you've had a chance to look at it yet, but volumes continue to be good. The hospital is full. Dr. Jones will tell you about that, I'm sure. But if you look again at this financial statement, to the left is the month of March, and the middle section to the right is year to date. And so if you'll just look at the top at our operating revenues, you'll see patient care, 139.9 million. That's $10 million over where we were budgeted and $8.8 million over prior year for the month. If you were to follow that line over to the middle section, you'll also see year to date, we're 46 million above budget and 108 million over last year. And so volumes continue to be very strong. Cash collections are improving, and so that's helping with the patient care revenue. And so good report there. The other revenue categories also very consistent, leaving total operating revenues 173.8 million or $13 million over budget for the month and $52 million over year to date. If you move into operating expenses, I think you'll see kind of a continued story there. Salaries are pretty consistent. Contract labor's up some, but when you normalize that and look at contract labor as a percent of volumes now, it's leveled out. And so really the team in the hospital has done a good job of balancing that contract labor that they're using. Same thing with supplies. If you look proportionately per patient that we're taking care of and as a percent of revenue, it's in line with where it should. That leaves operating expenses 9.1 million over budget and 53 million over year to date. But if you look at that EBITDA line, that's what I have us focus on a lot. So operating before interest and depreciation, you'll see for the month we were at 11.1 million, which is $4 million over budget. I will say, I forgot to mention, there is a cost report settlement in there that was positive to us for the month in that revenue category. And so that helped. But again, right above budget for the month. And then year to date at 68.1 million, we're about $1 million behind EBITDA. But interest income has continued to be strong both for the month and the year. So if you look at that very bottom net income, you'll see we're at 11.2 million for the month. Budget was 1.9, so we were $9 million, $9.3 million ahead of budget for the month. And then year to date, we are $15.9 million ahead of budget. I will remind us that there are some one-time adjustments that have been positive to us, a net positive. There's some, and we'll report those as we get closer to the end of the fiscal year. But things around like the 340B settlement, I think I've mentioned, and some of those things. So again, very good financial performance, both from March and year to date. If you want to look at, this was the waterfall graph that I started showing a few months back, and it just kind of in a graph will show you a reconciliation for the month between, on the left, the budget of $7.1 million and how it got to the 11.1. So the green is the positive, red is where we were under budget. So it kind of just shows you in a graph what we just talked through. So you see patient care revenue up, cost report was up for the month, and so $10 million there. And then the expense categories that are red kind of tie with that additional volume. And then that same look year to date. So you'll see year to date, again, very strong patient care revenue, $29.4 million ahead of budget. We've got DISH MHAP. Those are some of the supplemental payment models, just some of the retro dollars that have recorded through March. There will be more of that we'll book as those programs are finalized before the end of the fiscal year. And then cost report settlements have been favorable. Those are the ones we filed and have been final audited, so we were able to benefit from those. And then expenses, again, that agency labor's up, but I would say proportionate to what our revenue's been up. From a balance sheet perspective, no, these are a lot of numbers to look at. What I would point out to you, cash is up $30 million between June 30th and March 31st. And so we have been able to improve our cash position. I always show you this to put it in context, the days cash on hand. I told you the number just to give you some perspective here. You can see the cash days are at 88. I'll remind you, our target is 90. But there was an update each year. You know, cash is total cash divided by your expenses. And so John and I have talked about this a lot, but that the unfunded pension goes into that calculation. And so that formula did get updated in December. And had the formula been consistent with last year, our days cash would be much higher than this because cash is up $30 million. Still, with the change in the formula, we will end the year ahead of that 90-day target. And so we still feel good about that. And then days in accounts receivable, I mentioned that. I mean, you know, we're working through that revenue cycle redesign, and we have seen improved cash collections over the last 3 months. And that's helping manage those AR days that are going down some. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Well, thank you, Jennifer. Is there a motion to close the meeting to determine the need for an executive session? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Anyone not needed for executive session is free to leave the room or disconnect. If you're not an IHL trustee, you're welcome to wait in the lobby. Trustees, please give us a minute to clear the room and make sure the appropriate participants are virtually connected. Thank you.